Hello, everybody. Welcome into Spicy Boy Thursday. It is currently Thursday, December 17th, 2020, 9:40 a.m. I'm joined by my friend, my crony, pretty pale dude over there. He's my co-host, Ryan Chaffee.
You're in the shadows and I'm more in the light.
No, this is my tan skin, buddy.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. You've been hitting the beach.
Anyways, needless to say, Tuesday's episode was pretty good. Pretty good, I'd say. So if you're looking for some content, that was one of our shorter of the long episodes. If you're looking for some content, go back and watch that. Good conversation between Don Veggie and owner of the Screaming Turtles, Jack Mitchell. So you could just skip to that if you just want to listen to that, or you could not. If you like the show, be a friend, tell a friend. If you don't, act like it never happened. Appreciate you letting us grace your eardrums on this fine morning or afternoon, whenever you're watching this, guy. Anyways, let us begin. We got some great things planned for us today. We got an intro segment with some good questions, some new focus points that we're bringing up today. Then we got the talk with the commissioner of the DGFL, my boss, Hunter Phalen.
Oh, darn it.
Yeah, Hunter Phalen. He's coming on second segment.
Mm-hmm.
Then we're wrapping it up with the spreads, the Spicy Boys segment itself, seeing who we're looking at this week, who we're putting in our lineups, who we're betting on, maybe if we're doing a parlay, maybe if we're doing a little slamma jamma, looking at the sneak, looking at the spreads. We're going to be doing that later, third segment, about an hour ahead of us. Anyways, this is new thing we're doing about. Don, my Spicy Boy of the week. This is the player I think will be the highest positional scorer of their position group. I did not explain the rules to Ryan, so hopefully
he did not, but that's okay. I still feel good about my choice.
Did not explain the rules, but hopefully Ryan still understands, and it holds true. My Spicy Boy is going to be Derrick Henry. Derrick, he is a Yeti, and Yetis perform pretty well against the 29th ranked rush defense. He's playing Detroit. I guarantee he'll break 30 again. It's a shame he's not in the championship matchup because he would be loving the spotlight. All right, Derrick Henry, there's nothing else needed to be said. He's going to get the ball 37 times. He's going to rush for 294 yards in 3 touchdowns.
Is that your actual prediction?
No, but if it was, that'd be like 44 points.
Okay. I mean, he could do it.
He could do it, honestly. The Detroit Lions defense is absolute garbage. Matt Stafford's not playing, I think. So they're going to be running a lot because they'll have the lead. I think Derrick Henry is the RB1 this week. 37 points is my prediction.
Very nice.
Prediction and projection.
Projectivity. Anyway, your boy, Art Chafe, coming at you from Harrisburg, the greatest city in North Carolina. My Spicy Boy of the week is Drew Lock. Just kidding, Peyton. He's a garbage can. My real Spicy Boy of the week, the wide receiver 1, Devontae Adams. All right, my guy, when he has played a full game, he had one game where he got hurt early on. The man has never had less than 9 targets. Okay? 9 targets. He's had 8 straight games with 6 catches and at least a touchdown. And in 7 of those 8 has at least 60 or 70 yards receiving. The man is an animal, all right? Rodgers is an MVP candidate right now, probably going to win it. Devontae Adams is having one of the most consistently elite fantasy performances we've ever seen. He's a must start. Look for him to go for at least 25 with a ceiling of probably 35. He's not going to score you less than 17 points, but I think he's a hot contender for wide receiver one, and he is my spicy boy of the week.
All right. That has been the Spicy Boy of the Week. Now, another question here before we move on into the next bit of this, Ryan.
Okay.
Chris, he said 30-point score wins the Bods Mafiosos
Yeah.
matchup. I was going to ask Chris to give me a statement for this one, but things came up. I definitely did not forget to
Maybe
text
shoot
him.
him a text.
Yeah, I'll shoot him a text. If he gets back to me, maybe we'll add that in there later.
Wow, really putting a lot of strain on the boys in the back.
Yeah. Maybe we'll add that in later. We'll like as the text rolls in, maybe I'll cut off whatever's happening.
You just interrupt Hunter, it'll be fine.
Anyways, is there anybody in this matchup of the championship? We'll talk about it later, but is there anybody in this matchup that you think, like, on the Mafiosos side or on the Turtles side, that, like, if they overshoot their projections, their team is likely to win?
That is a great question. So it's I don't think it's gonna be one of the running backs for Jack Mitchell's team. For the Screaming Turtles, I think if Lamar overshoots his projection, he's been over like 29 points each of the last 2 weeks. I think he's projected like 22, 25. If he goes off for 35, the Screaming Turtles are going to be really, really tough to beat. But on the other side, for the Mafiosos, if Mott can keep doing what he's been doing, I'm sure he's projected probably like 15 points, but he's probably been above 25 each of the last 2 games, and that's good. I mean, I think the bigger factor there is going to be opportunity because Mafiosos have Pat Mahomes, so even if he gets outscored this week with a tough matchup against New Orleans, he could honestly make up any deficit that he has to Lamar because he's capable of scoring 40 fantasy points a game.
Yeah. We'll talk about this later, but the way I kind of look at this matchup is, like, for the Mafia, I'll start at the Mafiosos side. I'm fairly confident John Taylor, David Montgomery at least hit their projections of 14 each. Like, that's not a tall task against these garbage
Very
defense.
doable.
I think it all comes down to the wide receivers on the Mafiosos side. Like, again, we'll get into this later, but briefly, like, DJ Moore's coming off ankle injury. Like, the Mafiosos have had trouble flexing players in the past that just don't, like, they'll suit up and not play, or they'll drop 3 balls in the first possession, so then they get benched for the rest of the half. So yeah, I mean, just a normal situation. So I think, anyways, that's kind of what for Turtles side. It's just it's really just playing up to expectations is kind of how I'd give them the theme. Anyways. Next segment that we have that we're coming at you with is called This or That, or also known as the TT segment. Okay.
Sounded a lot like some other word there.
TT?
Yeah.
Like what do you mean?
Nah. On with the show. Don't worry about
like tea? Like
yeah.
drinking tea?
Or like Tiki Barber,
Tiki Barber.
Yeah.
Okay, this or that. Tiki Barber or Rondé Barber?
Dude, I haven't seen them play in so long. Probably Tiki. In their
Tiki
prime.
only played for like 4 years.
Yeah, but when he played, he was like Hall of Fame level.
Okay. Anyways, Chris Long gave us quick projection. Here we go. I'd say since it's a 2-week game, this is a quote. I'd say since it's a 2-week game, whatever team keeps all of their players healthy for both weeks will get it done. Seems very vague and probably going to happen for both teams.
Well, You say that.
Christian
Chris
McCaffrey is
is
already
a
not
prophet.
playing. Does that mean Jack is going to lose because his players aren't healthy?
I think he meant more if someone goes down this
Yeah.
week.
Anyways, we got news that Christian McCaffrey's probably not playing. Matt Rule says he is likely to not play. Doubtful. Anyways, we'll start this or that. We'll get into the matchups later. Would you rather have Mahomes or Lamar Jackson this week? Mahomes has New Orleans. Lamar Jackson has Jacksonville.
Lamar Jackson, 100% because of the matchup. I think on the season, Mahomes is better. Like I said earlier, Lamar's been really hot the last two games. I think he'll outscore Mahomes because of the rushing um, attack that he has. I think the Chiefs will definitely win. I think it'll be a good game, but I don't really see that game being a shootout. I think it's more of a control the clock. Saints run a lot of short passes, like to get the ball to Kamara. So I'll take him for this week based solely on the matchup.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah. I, like this is a weird one for me because Lamar, obviously, like you said, he has that plus matchup, but like it's not a tale of they're both gonna go crazy and then one's just gonna be nuclear for me.
Mm-hmm.
In my mind, would you rather have the guaranteed floor of 20 from Mahomes, where he's not really going to get you above 33, or the floor of Lamar getting you 12 against Pittsburgh in week 6 or 13 against Bengals in week whatever, or his ceiling of like 42, Personally, going into a championship game, I'd probably rather have the guaranteed.
Yeah, that's very fair.
But like you're saying, the heat streak and the matchup, I wouldn't be surprised if it's 99% to 1% choose Lamar. I'd probably lean Lamar if I needed that firepower. Anyways,
Yeah. I think if you
you're
ask this
taking
question next
Lamar.
week, it'd be different.
You're taking Lamar. I'm gonna take Mahomes
Me
on
and them
that.
homies.
We'll see. We'll see. Okay. Anyways, Aaron Jones or Alvin Kamara. Aaron Jones has Carolina's terrible rush defense. It's getting better, but it's not
Yeah.
great. Or Alvin Kamara, who has Kansas City, whose defense has been pretty good recently.
Yeah. I'm going to take Kamara for sure because of the two things. Kamara's more involved in the passing game than Aaron Jones has been. And Aaron
Do they
Rodgers
have Drew
has been,
Brees?
I think they do.
Okay, yeah. I think it's
Uh,
easy if they have Drew Brees.
yeah. Aaron Rodgers has been so good throwing the ball, they haven't had to run the ball. And Carolina, actually, since they got torched by Ronald Jones in like week 12 or whatever, haven't had someone go for more than 70 rushing yards against them. And they faced Dalvin Cook, Melvin Gordon. So,
Well, it's because we've put up a game in most of them. I'd,
yeah.
I'd say I'd say it all comes down to the score of the game. If
Mm,
the Packers are up 28 by the end of the half, then Aaron Jones is going to have a day, and he'll
that's
be
true.
like, whereas I think like Kamara, I was going to go Aaron Jones in this
Mm.
if Taysom was playing,
Let me
but if
confirm that for the boys
yeah,
in the
you
back.
you can look while I keep talking, but like just you said like Kamara is more involved in the passing game. It's just not been dynamic when Taysom's in there. Kamara's been like under 17 each of the weeks. Taysom's been QB. I'm pretty sure that's completely unfact check. I'm just kind of guessing on that one.
That's right-ish.
Whereas Aaron Jones has just been like underperforming because like the Green Bay defense can't stop anybody. So then Aaron Rodgers just has to single-handedly win it with his arm and Devontae's hands.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
I'm in the viewpoint that Panthers don't have fight in them, honestly, and that they're not playing Christian because of this injury, but just because they're throwing the season
yeah,
already, which
that's
is a
true.
shame as a Panthers fan. But I mean,
Well,
if you're gonna do it, keep your franchise guy healthy. I
yeah,
don't
keep
know,
him
but
safe.
at this point, it seems like he's not even injured. Anyways.
It looks like it's not a guarantee that Breeze comes back. So maybe a more complicated question, but It's all about if he practices today and tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So I still think kind of what you said. I like your point about it's going to be all about the score of that Carolina game.
I'll take Kamara.
Okay.
What are you doing, Kamara, Tim?
I'll still take Kamara. Higher floor, I think.
Okay. Lockett versus Julio. Tyler Lockett versus Julio Jones. Tyler Lockett has Washington. Julio has Tampa Bay. Pretty
This
tough
is
matchups
a
for both of them.
disrespectful question.
Oh, yeah. You're taking Julio?
I'm taking Julio. You take the GOAT, all right?
Even when Matt Ryan can't throw when he's under pressure?
Oh, yeah.
Statistically, one of the
Because
worst quarterbacks of all time when he's pressured in the
he
pocket
is going to just heave it up to Julio.
against Tampa Bay's wonderful pass rush.
I will take Julio
That
over
sacked
Tyler
Aaron
Lockett.
Rodgers 8 times or something.
I don't care if Tyler Lockett is playing St. Mary's School for the Deaf and Blind. I'm taking Julio over Tyler Lockett most any week, assuming Julio's hamstrings are good to go. Plus, Tyler Lockett's been like below 6 points the last few weeks.
Yeah, I'll make it
Like he's
interesting.
been
I'll go
elite.
Tyler Lockett. I'll go Tyler Lockett. There's a reason I put this in here, and it's because Tyler Lockett has a cornerback that he's flamed every single year of his career that he's
Really?
going up against. Yeah, every single year he's flamed him.
Who? Do we know?
I don't know his name. I just read that on some report thing that I was reading stuff to prepare.
Where do you find this stuff at?
Don't worry about it, bro.
Seems very relevant. I still take Julio.
Okay.
Never gonna go against the JJ.
I understand. He's your man. Dobbins versus Akers. Rookie v. rookie. Very easy matchups for both of these guys. Yeah. Jacksonville for Dobbins, Jets for Akers. I'm taking Akers.
Yeah, me too. The volume.
The volume, dude. The stats I was reading the other week. 94% of carries.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And like one of the most dynamic offenses in the league.
For sure. And Lamar takes as many carries as Dobbins.
Boys in the back? What kind of question is this? Easy, Akers.
Easy. But I'm sure, some of the people out there, like probably the fans of the Pillows organization would say, no, Dobbins, he scored a touchdown last 2 weeks. He's so efficient.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Anyways, that's what we got. I had Mahomes, you had Jackson. We both did Kamara. I did Lockett, you did Julio. We both did Akers. We'll see what the scores are next week.
Yeah, it'd be fun to revisit those.
Yeah, we'll revisit those, guys. We'll revisit them. Anyways,
yeah. Surprise new segment. I did not tell Don about this one that I threw in the doc. We got a good 2 minutes to kill before our commissioner gets here. It's Spicy Boy Thursday. Don, hit us with your best Spicy Boy Thursday recipe for those who are trying to cook up a nice meal to watch the game tonight.
Okay. Yeah, here we go. Obviously, Spicy Boy Thursday was coined because of my love of making chicken wings, buffalo chicken wings. What I'll do is every single week, I make chicken wings and then I eat them before the Thursday night game to really get me in that mindset for weekend football. Like get my mind chugging and plugging. So my recipe, do I go with the one that I'm really excited about making in the future that I've been researching a lot, or the one that I made in the past that was the best so far?
Are we doing an episode next week?
Yes, we will
then
be
go
doing
with the one you've made in the past.
The one I've made in the past. All right. So it's all about the sauce. Anybody can bake chicken. Anybody can fry chicken. And you know what? Obviously, you can make it more tender and succulent. Anyway, the chicken is the chicken. It's the sauce for me. So what I'll do, I'll briefly explain how I bake the chicken. So this last time I did a little. I patted it down, let it sit out for about an hour, let it dry so all that grease and extra moisture kind of gets off on a towel. So then when you slap it in and you bake it, it comes out crispier. Because I'm a fan of the crispy. I like corners. I like the corners of lasagna. I like the corners of brownie. I just like the crispiness of a lot of my food. I like the crunch. I just like the texture of it. Anyways, while that's in there, this is I got a bottle of Frank's Red Hot extra hot buffalo sauce. I
No
know
sponsor.
cheap. You can get it at the local Walmart or anything. Then I tried out a little sweeter hot sauce this time. I went with Cholula.
Mm.
I went with Cholula. Classic location resides in Qdoba, but I got it at the store. Anyways, 12 ounces of Frank's Red Hot, 3 or 4 dabs of Cholula, 3 or 4 dabs of Worcestershire sauce, half stick of butter necessary.
Good gosh.
What? That's what you have to do.
No, I know it is to get it.
Half stick of butter. That's what makes the sauce the sauce.
I know.
Let that simmer. Get that guy going. Warm it up. Mix it around. Put it in a bag. Take out the wings. Put the wings in a bag. Fondle that bag. Let all that sauce get everywhere. Pour the bag out into a ball. Make some macaroni. You got hot wings and macaroni for Thursday night. Only takes about an hour and 15.
Spicy Boy Thursday. I can't say as someone who's had his wing before, it's pretty good. Hunter is
level up.
not here yet. He's late.
Oh, okay.
Did
he respond to you?
He did. He's coming. I just texted him again.
Okay.
Um,
Cool. Well, you can have your spicy recipe if you got one.
Yeah. Mine's simple. Crock pot buffalo chicken. Take some chicken breast. Take some Frank's buffalo wing sauce. If you want to go for more of a barbecue twist, a spicy barbecue, you can add some Sweet Baby Ray's. Don't have to. Put it in the crock pot for about 6 hours till it's tender enough to pull apart with a fork. Toast some whole grain buns. Slap that boy on there. Got some onion rings with that, some baked beans. No greens, though. You can put some ranch dressing on it if that's your thing. Only takes about 6 hours to make, so.
Oh my gosh. We might be the worst stallers of all time.
We're not, because Hunter Phalen is joining the show. Here he comes.
It's so bad at talking. It's so bad at stalling for people.
Am I live?
Yeah, you're live at 5. Welcome to the show.
What's up, boys? Thank you for having me. Oh my gosh, longtime fan, first time, actually being on the program. I'm very excited.
We have some very exciting questions to ask you. I just looked at the doc and I'm very very thrilled. We're happy to have you, Hunter.
Can't wait.
So, Hunter, you finished your finals.
I did, yes.
Did you get your grades in?
I did, yes.
You're going to have to tell everybody what you got on all of them.
Matt Don, when I agreed to come on this show,
I agreed to say everything.
I thought we agreed to leave my personal life out of it.
Did you see Gweave's interview? The man opened up, all right?
He did open up like a flower. I won't lie.
I'm just kidding. You don't have to answer that.
Thank goodness.
This is a football oriented.
Okay.
I'll ask you about things, but we're just getting into things.
We don't care.
Diving in.
Yeah, no, so you gotta get the heart pumping in the morning. Some a little spicy. I understand it.
Spicy, yeah.
Yeah.
Spicy Boy Thursday. Anyways, Hunter.
Yeah.
I'm going to steal some of Ryan's questions here to make myself look good and prepared. How are you feeling given the relative dominance of the Duckies despite not making the playoffs?
Look, I'm not gonna lie, it's a little disappointing. Because I've been running the numbers while I like comparing while we've been out. We would have beaten Jack week 1 of the playoffs, and week 2, if we had beaten Jack, we would have beaten Gweaves. And so we would theoretically be in the championship right now if we.
I thought Jack had a bye.
No, if I'd beaten Jack last week of the season.
He wouldn't have.
Gweaves would have had the bye, I think.
And then Gweaves would have had the bye.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah. So, it stinks, but like there's nothing you can do when Tyreek Hill drops 55 points in your eye. Like it's fine. We move on. Plus, like, I'll be honest, I've been here before. I've limped to the championship, and I don't think I have the horses this week. look, whenever you have 3 major players go down and go to IR, it's kind of tough to actually make it there. And as good as Baker has played the last couple of weeks, I don't have faith in that for a championship run. So it's disappointing, but at the end of the day, I get a better draft pick and we get to reload, and we're focused on next year. We're trying to improve and we're trying to get better.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah, you're not rigging the draft pick lottery this year, buddy.
Yeah, we are.
No, you're
Yeah,
not. Neither of you.
I'm just saying, if you give me number 1, I'm going to win the championship next
Trust me, I've been in cahoots with the league owner, and we've been making sure this lottery process is going to be smooth and not done on Ryan's phone again, where he can just rig it willy-nilly.
Isn't Hunter the league owner?
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
I mean,
No, he's the commissioner.
It must be nice.
I'm also an owner.
Could you delete the league right now? No.
I believe I could, actually.
All right, go check on that.
Even as we go into the lottery and the championship, I sit here and I look at Hunter's team. And while Matt Don, not associated with Don Veggie, I look at his team. It must be nice for them to have a future. Like, I just look at my team and I'm like, we are nowhere near good enough to contend. But we're not bad enough that we need to reload.
Just delete
okay.
I deleted it.
Don't you dare nuke this league.
I've got the power. I'm just saying.
All right.
And Chafin, I would say before we hop into the rest of it, like, looking at your team, you do have some pieces that are very good.
No, I have a man with Swedish hamstrings, and I have a guy who gives his middle finger to fantasy owners. It's fine. We still love him. Family.
No, Jacobs is brutal.
Bigger than football, baby.
But Hawkinson's looked great.
That's true.
And Claypool, I love Claypool. Like, I think Claypool's going to be.
I'll give you him for Devontae Adams. We'll call it even.
Okay. I think that's fair. Fair.
Good. All right.
Sadly, we're still in a no trade.
I'm gonna steal the next question, if that's okay.
Yeah, bro, go off it.
I'm gonna stay focused. Actually, let's move to next year because he talked a little bit about Baker. All right, Hunter. Looking forward to 2021. Who has a bigger season in your mind, Stephon Diggs or Devontae Adams?
Whew. I mean, like, I'll be honest. At the beginning of the offseason, I tried to move Diggs several times.
You did. I refused to trade for him. I regret that.
Yeah, nobody wanted him. And because, look, I didn't have a lot of faith in Josh Allen. And credit to Gweaves as well for believing in him. He's looked great. Mm-hmm. And that's actually a legitimate question. But in all honesty, my only question with Devontae is, can he stay healthy? Because when he's healthy, he's the best wide receiver in fantasy. Like, in my opinion. Yes, Tyreek can have his 50-point weeks, but Devontae is always going to baseline at like 14 points, and then he can get you 45. And so for me, Devontae is a guy that I just kind of have faith as long as he stays healthy, or he can give me like at least 8 to 10 games. He's going to be a stud. He's going to be a top 10 wide receiver. Diggs, sky's the limit, to be honest. He's young. He's going to be in his second year in that Bills offense. I'm really excited to see what he's going to do. Look, we saw Godwin have a bit of a regression under Brady. That's not surprising. I mean, Brady's not a good quarterback at this point in his career. So I'm hoping he goes elsewhere, or that they get rid of Antonio Brown. Either one is very helpful for me. But look, I'm excited going into next season with two guys that I feel are going to probably end up in the top 5 for fantasy wide receivers. And so if I can get Mixon back, I can get Chubb back, we're feeling good about our chances.
Hey, but Hunter, how's it kind of feeling right now? You say Diggs will be top 5, but like, I'd say about 99% of fantasy players are kind of thinking that's Gabe Davis's role, honestly. What would you say?
A lot of people are.
He's the
what
alpha.
would you say to those guys?
Look, I understand it. I'll be honest. I am in another dynasty league. I did pick up Gabe Davis just because, he started balling out. But watching him in this past week, he had a few drops that were unbecoming.
No. Hey, I watched it. They were all highly contested by great cornerbacks.
Two touchdowns.
What can you do when Stephon has taken all the easy slants and out routes, and he has to be the dude making the big plays?
Look,
it really
all I
shows
know,
who they trust in the offense. I'll tell you that.
Look, all I know is the pecking order in Buffalo, as we all know, is Diggs 1,
Gabe Davis,
Cole Beasley,
True.
the ghost of John Brown,
To go-
and then we've got Gabe.
That's
Did you listen to the one on Tuesday and hear the Cole Beasley stat?
Oh, I did.
Golly, Cole Beasley
He's a
is
stud.
sick.
He's a
Dude.
stud. Like
He's
every time I
just-
hear that though, when they're
grinding.
talking like white 31-year-old receiver, my first thought goes to Adam Thielen, and then I found out it's Cole Beasley, and like, that's kind of hype. Like,
That's another good question. Who's the best white 31-year-old receiver? Cole
Probably
Beasley or
Cole
Adam
Beasley.
Thielen?
Based
That's
on
for
we-
another.
stat.
do
I
we
mean, based
round
on
down
Beasley's
Edelman?
stat.
Do we
Based
round
on
down
no.
Edelman?
No.
based
Or
on
no?
stats, I'd say Cole Beasley, but based on like skills and
Talent,
sick one-handed catches this year, I'd say Adam Thielen.
I would agree.
Okay, it's got to be Thielen. You know?
I agree.
Disrespect to Cole Beasley is absurd.
Yeah. No. I mean, look, the fact that it's close is respectable. Like, in all seriousness, because Thielen's like a stud. I think Adam Thielen's a stud.
Hey, Cole Beasley doesn't go weeks with 2 catches for 39 yards. That's all I'll
That's
say.
true. That's true, but that's also Kirk Cousins. That's Kirk Cousins.
Whoa!
I don't think that's Adam Thielen.
Whoa!
Kirk is garbage.
Whoa!
Hey, no, Chafin.
You don't even have Kirk.
You know,
In my
we're a
other
family.
league, my
Jack
starting
Mitchell
quarterback,
has
okay?
Kirk.
Once a jollar, always a jollar. Okay,
That's not true.
it's true.
Yeah, that's not true at all. I traded him very to you, Chafin. So like,
And you
Just
got
move
Dak Prescott. Ha!
I did.
How's that working out for you?
You got carry on, man.
Just
Yeah.
this is a week late, but
Speaking
for our
of trades,
hold
remember
on.
how
Dom. Hold on.
remember how this guy
Hold
got
on.
Stephon Diggs and absolutely scammed Don Veggie?
Hold on.
Don
who did he trade
Veggie
you for?
wanted to make that trade.
Don
And he
Veggie
loved
scammed or
He
got
loved
scammed.
it.
Who did you
Look,
get?
I traded away Paris Campbell,
Oh yeah, and a
And I
second
think-
round pick.
pick 15. I want to
Yeah,
say.
something like that.
I was
Justin
like,
Herbert
yeah.
and Paris Campbell. for
Last
Stephon Diggs?
year, the value was there. This year, that's not true.
I mean, it's a year and a half later.
No,
Like,
but I did do some research. Boys in the Back did some research. We're going to ask you about that scam and possibly some other trades later. We'll talk about your
gosh.
trades later. Anyways, but we did research, and that 15 turned into the trade up for the 201 or the 202 or whatever, which turned into Burrow, which then turned into Mahomes. So,
it all worked out.
some would say it all worked out for Don Veggie, but he's angry still that he couldn't have Stephon Diggs this year.
Look, he hated Stephon Diggs. He also hated Cortland Sutton. There were certain players on his team that he really didn't like, and I actually did like. And
It's all right. He doesn't
It is what it
regret
is.
Cortland Sutton because Cortland Sutton hasn't played a game. So,
he will regret it next year.
anyways, that's the next question that I have is what has been your favorite trade you've ever made? Ever.
Favorite trade?
Because you're the trade guru, as some would call you. You like making trades. You're one for making bad trades and one for making good trades. Which one's been your favorite? Doesn't have to be the greatest value of like you scammed a guy or anything like that. It could just be like, I got the dude that I really wanted.
Yeah. Look, there's a few out there that I really liked. In all honesty, there's certain trades that I made that I needed to make, but I didn't necessarily love. Honest, when I acquired Joe Mixon, which that trade at the time, it looked a little unbalanced. Now it's actually looking pretty daggone balanced. And if Chase Edmonds takes over in Arizona, it's not looking good for me. I needed to make that trade to have a run. But I think probably my favorite trade, and really because that set up me as a team and me as a contender, was the Nick Chubb trade. And it was my hardest trade. I didn't want to give up Tyreek Hill. I drafted Tyreek Hill when Tyreek was suspended. He's the number one receiver in fantasy right now. He's a stud. And I don't think anyone's going to deny. I mean, I missed the playoffs because I didn't make that Tyreek Hill trade. But I needed a running back because I had a horrible running back draft. And I got getting a first as well doesn't hurt. And so being able to trade Tyreek for essentially Nick Chubb and CeeDee Lamb, both guys who are huge building blocks for my team and what I'm trying to do moving forward, what I needed to do. And look, I didn't like that trade at the time. I wanted Devontae and I wanted Tyreek and I wanted to just kind of roll with that group. But it's what I needed to do. And I think that was probably the trade that has set up like my team and set up what I need to do going forward.
You're
That's a
not
good answer.
afraid to make it was a very good answer. A good like you're not afraid to shift some pretty big pieces on your team to do what you got to do, which I respect.
Yeah. No, I mean, part of it is, you can't, like, I model my team building principle off the book Good to Great, which is like, a business building book. But part of it is like, you have to be brutally honest with yourself and your team and where you're at. And like, I look at my team, and if it's a big name and they're not performing, I'm going to move them for something that might not be as sexy, might not be as good, but it's going to help me moving forward.
Like Cole Beasley.
Like Cole Beasley, look, if I was a contender, I would trade for Cole Beasley. Like straight up, I would make moves that I needed to do. And this year, like I'm not sure I made a trade this year. And part of that is because all of my guys got hurt, and I'm like, I'm not going to trade dented value assets. And I'm just going to, sit it out. I'm going to have a top 6 pick this upcoming offseason, and I've got some guys coming off injury that hopefully I can move and turn into something great, or just sit on and hope they turn out well. So a lot of it is just being honest with where your team's at, and also not being afraid to switch it up if it's not working.
That was very enjoyable to listen to. I feel like I learned a lot in that question. I don't know about you, Don. See, I'm not as you guys have been to the championship before. I'm actually going for. I'm talking about you guys being Matt, Don, and Don Veggie, not you, Matt, Don.
Yeah.
You guys are totally different.
Why were you talking about him?
Talking about the championship.
Yeah, the championship.
He said something earlier about how he was giving you some news. It reminded me of that.
Okay, that makes sense.
I'm actually going for back-to-back championships myself. So this is an elite group of guys we have on the show today. Really honored to be in your presence.
Big couple of weeks there.
Back-to-back, going for back-to-back toilet bowls. If I lose to Chris, I'm giving my team to Jack Curry.
You go from barely missing the playoffs because you lost Rod to going for the toilet bowl championship. What a fall it's been.
Fall from grace. Fall from grace. That's
you
okay.
hate Sam.
It's all right. Once a champion, always a champion.
Yeah. No, okay. So I'll move us along here. We got a lot of questions here. So, Hunter, this is a question that Ryan wrote down. I was kind of hoping he would ask it, but he was kind of talking about himself here. Explain. Everybody wants to know. Everybody's made fun of you for it. Explain why you're starting 3 Browns players every week. It's really unbecoming, and it's paid off a few times, but most times, does it pay off? Walk us through that.
So, I mean, like it's kind of a butterfly effect. Everything starts from the beginning, and then it's gotten me to this point in the season. And look, I think looking at my season and diagnosing what went wrong, when Dak went down, it was over. Like that was kind of my thought process. So as soon as Dak went down, I had a few other quarterbacks on the roster, but nobody who was starters. Dwayne Haskins got benched. Jameis Winston went to New Orleans and is sitting on the bench. And Baker Mayfield to start off the season was frankly terrible. Like there was like no two ways about it. So my options with Dak were like, okay, do I trade for a stopgap option, or do I wait and just hope that he gets back? Because at this point, Cortland Sutton torn his ACL, Dak had just broken his foot, and I think Chubb was on IR for his like sprained MCL. That's why and so I was at that point in the season, and I was like, you know what, like we're just gonna play it out until the playoffs and see if I make if I'm looking like I'm gonna make the playoffs, I'll make some moves and we'll put together something for a run. But if not, we're just gonna hold pat and we'll see what happens. And
you're not holding pat. The mafiosos are holding pat.
Okay. I mean, speaking of trades that just like screwed people. Just saying.
Don't get Gweave started.
200 players and some second round picks.
Don't give Gweave started.
No, look, I don't think I didn't think it was an egregious deal. I actually kind of like that deal for Giller. Like, and you can make the argument that Herbert was a better player, and I get that. But I think that comes down to personal preference. And to be honest, in one QB, yes, Mahomes is a stud, and you can and he's probably deserving of a first-round pick.
Hey, back to you. Some would say that it's a little reckless to only have one top 12 quarterback on your roster in Dak Prescott. So when you said like your team was screwed after that happened, is this kind of like a learning point for you to be like, all right, maybe I need to get a good second guy because maybe Dak's not as unkillable as I thought he was going to be, you know?
Well, I mean, it's definitely a wake-up moment because, you never expect your quarterback to get like a Joe Theismann, Alex Smith type injury. Like you don't expect a guy to just break his foot in that manner. And look, I was heartbroken for Dak. Like I'm a Washington fan. I'm not rooting for the Cowboys, but like he's a good dude, and I love having him as a member of the Duckies. And look, part of it was I had the opportunity in the third round to draft Justin Herbert. I chose not to because my quarterback depth at that point was Dwayne Haskins, who I thought was going to be a starter, Jameis Winston, who had yet to sign in the offseason, and I was hoping was going to be a starter, and then Dak and Baker. So I was like, you know what, I've got good depth. I feel good about my depth. And I mean, that's the thing in football. It changes in an instant. And so I agree with you. I need to feel good about my number two. And I think Baker has shown me enough this season that like he can be a good number two. We will also reevaluate in the offseason. This is a deep quarterback draft. And so don't be surprised if the Duckies make a move there.
Quit sniping my questions, bro. Quit sniping them.
I'm on the dock, man.
Hold on.
You're not on the dock.
Run this back for the people. Hunter just talked about.
Hold
on, Don. This is important.
No, I got an easy, quick question. Easy, quick
I
question.
will murder you.
Easy, quick question.
Hunter, quick question for you. You said you're all about being honest for the people, but you said you were looking at your team before the season and thought Dwayne Haskins was a starter.
Yes.
Is that really being brutally honest with yourself?
Look, he had a rough rookie year. Like he had an up and down rookie year, and we brought in Ron Rivera and we brought in Scott Turner. And I think Scott Turner, like I believe that the offense was going to be simplified for him. I also did not think like his primary competition was Kyle Allen, who also like hope Kyle Allen gets better, but like see him as backup. And then Alex Smith, who I didn't think was going to play football again. Like kudos to him to getting back on a field. And so when I'm looking at my options, I'm looking at career backup Kyle Allen, like Alex Smith, who's a very good player but hasn't played in 2 years, and Dwayne Haskins, who 2 years prior had thrown 50 touchdowns for Ohio State, has a cannon, is pretty accurate. But the problem was he didn't fit with the program and the system and what they were trying to do, and he got benched. And look, you can't anticipate those things. But the good news is the dawn for the Mafiosos did drop a quarterback prospect, and the Duckies pounced on him. And Gardner Minshew is probably going to be our QB2 moving forward. We're very excited about Minshew. And that was an easy decision. Yeah. Look, if he has a job next year, he's easily QB2. I think Minshew's a stud. I love Gardner Minshew.
I'd agree. The question is job security. Anyways, isn't Dwayne Haskins starting this week?
No, I believe Alex Smith is back. There were some concerns over calf strain.
Wow, T's and T's.
No, it was calf strain. No, it was calf strain. So I was worried of something because he had like the whole like towel contraption on his leg. No, he's apparently.
Yeah. Well, I was kind of for a lot of my money lineups I was going to do this weekend. I was really hoping it was going to be Haskins, so I could take the pay cut people have been putting on McLaurin for his past performances. But looks like I will be shying away from Washington again.
Yep, you should. Logan Thomas is the best.
Yeah, Logan Thomas gets about 14 targets a game. Anyways, I was going to ask, do you really think Jameis Winston's ever going to start again?
That was a good question. I should have let you ask that.
That's a great question. Look, I think it's a fascinating microcosm of why Jameis Winston is not a starting quarterback. The stat I use is through his first 5 years, the closest NFL quarterback comparison to Jameis Winston is Peyton Manning. And like, no, seriously, if you look at the stats, if you look at the statistical comparison.
The next Peyton Manning.
No, I'm just saying that's through 5 years, that's his closest NFL comp. And I think we get thrown off by the 30 picks, and we're like, this guy threw 30 interceptions, we can't use him. But he also threw the ball at one of the highest rates like in NFL history. I think he should be a starter. The fact that the Saints, like Taysom Hill, great story, but like throw the dang ball. Like Jameis is perfect for that offense. He's perfect for what they try and do with move the ball down the field and attack the opposing team. I mean, that's what he did in Tampa. That like I don't understand why he's not. I'm holding out hope. I will say I'm more skeptical than I was last year, just because I was anticipating Drew Brees going down at some point and Jameis stepping into the void, and the fact that we have Taysom is brutal. But look, the talent is there. The decision making not necessarily there. The character not necessarily there. But in terms of like an actual NFL arm and NFL ability, I think there are few players that can fit where Jameis is. Like I think from a pure arm talent and physical perspective, he's a top 5 quarterback.
Sure, I think it all comes down to his spastic pregame intros of eating W's. I think that's really the reason he's not starting at this point.
Well, the good news with the Saints is he's worked on a new pregame ritual where he wiggles out his hips. I will say, no, look it up. It's great. And I think that's
like
really
a
going to
man
help
that
him moving
wiggles.
forward. I know you do, Don. I know you do.
All right. Good answers. Good answers as always. All right, Hunter. We're going to move on to a more managerial standpoint here. All right. Give us a preview of the off season. Or wait, shoot, never mind. We're not moving on yet. Last question. It can be a quick answer. Quick answer. Who do you like in the championship matchup? The stars of the Turtles or the manliness of the Mafiosos?
It's fascinating because I think it all comes down to, does McCaffrey come back? If McCaffrey comes back,
he's playing. He's projected to play the second week.
I project to play the second week. Yeah, I'm not sure that's enough. Look, this one is one of those ones where I love it because you have two hugely explosive offenses just facing each other. I mentioned Tyreek at the top of the show. Like Tyreek Hill can legitimately go for 50 points, and like that could happen in any week. But the Dons also have they have Jonathan Taylor who just dropped like 25 out of nowhere. If that's who Taylor is moving forward,
out of nowhere, it's been 3 weeks in a row.
I'm just saying, like for the first half of the season, he looked terrible.
Yeah.
And he looked terrible. Like he can read holes. His ball carrier vision was awful. He still has some fumbling issues that he had at Wisconsin. It's gonna be interesting to track him throughout his career. Again, issues.
Yeah.
Issues.
Chronic problem.
Not like Zeke who fumbled 3 times in a game or anything.
Look, I think Zeke's bad. I think Zeke's washed.
God.
No, this is a full take for you guys. This is it's Spicy Boy.
It is Spicy Boy Thursday. He's right. It's Spicy Boy Thursday.
This is what I'm here for. I watch the NFC East. I watch a lot of NFC East games. I watch more Cowboys games now because I got Dak and CD. He does not look good. I think Tony Pollard's going to get some more carries. It's going to be interesting. Do they do a Todd Gurley situation with his contract? He just doesn't look good. He doesn't look like the same guy. The explosiveness isn't there.
Well, you're talking right now. You're talking a whole lot. What's the projection, buddy?
Okay. I think it's gonna be incredibly close. But I will say I think it's gonna be Jack. Dalvin's been unstoppable. Tyreek's been unstoppable.
As do most of the bettors and the populace of America.
Hey,
but I wouldn't be surprised. Honestly, I think it's probably 52-48. It's very close.
I think it's more than that. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
let's be brutally honest.
I'm thinking more of 62-38.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I don't know. I think it's close.
If it's close, good for the bets, good for the money. Maybe we can win something. All right, managerial standpoint. This is what I was transitioning us to. Give us a preview of the offseason. What's happening after the championship? When do trades, waivers reopen?
When do trades, waivers reopen?
You should have known that.
I should have known that as a commissioner.
Did you not prepare to come on the show?
I didn't prepare this at all. I did not prepare this. I missed a production meeting this morning. I'm not gonna lie, I slept in. I think usually what we've done in the past is we start up the waivers and the trades after our league meeting, and we're having that right in the end of January. We're going to talk about that, though, just because given the craziness of COVID, I don't know if people are going to want to change that. So waivers and trades are going to kick off we're going to coming and we'll be able to solidify our full draft spots. It's going to be very exciting because when the Duckies get number 1, it's gonna lead to a whole lot of different possibilities. After that, for the offseason, we usually have a few trades, a few waiver moves. I'm not anticipating a ton after this offseason. I felt like it was a more quiet trade market all the way around this season. But we'll see. There could be some big moves. I think the bigger thing is once the draft gets closer, because I know there's certain projecting in the draft class. This isn't going to be 2020. 2020 was an anomaly. It was a great year. If you took a wide receiver, you're very happy. If you took a running back at 11, you're not happy. But it's going to still be a very, very good class, and I think we've got depth at positions that we didn't have last season. We've got an actual top, probably a first-round tight end, if I had to guess, with Kyle Pitts, and then
here's to hoping he doesn't go to the Panthers.
That would be very spicy. You've got Florida and Panthers. Jack Mitchell would be all over that, or if the Ravens.
Jack Mitchell doesn't like the Panthers, though.
Mitchell. Well, I guess Jeff played for him.
Yeah,
but Jeff never liked the Panthers.
Oh, well, Spice Boy Thursday.
Or at least that's what I thought I remembered. One time we were playing Nerf at his house, and he told me that. I don't know. Maybe it just straight out my cheeks.
Well, I mean, it could be like you want to.
Jeff Mitchell's on a show, guaranteed.
You want a ship in Baltimore? It's kind of hard to go from winning a ship and to going anywhere.
To not winning a ship, getting beaten down by Tom Brady.
Brutal.
Tough. Anyways, Hunter, speaking of the league meeting, anything you're looking, a rule maybe you want to implement, maybe something you're trying to push, get people on board, maybe re-incite love of – what are you doing?
Yeah, look, we got rid of kickers and defenses last year. I think that has been a smashing success, but the league meeting is a referendum on that, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to discuss that. No, we're going to say, I know there are going to be certain members that are going to be loud and vocal about
you can say, Jack Mitchell, if you win the championship, you don't get a voice in re-establishing like you're a victim. I'll say it for the people.
Love it.
DGFL said it now. If you win the championship, you get to invoke any plan you want to, buddy.
Okay, let's hope Don wins.
I'm denying that on both fronts.
No, hey, what do you think? What are the odds he actually listens to this point in the podcast?
High.
It's been like 55 minutes. You think he has any sit down for 55 minutes where he can just listen to something?
No, you just put it on in the background while you.
No, but he's going to skip through my
take a dump or something.
Let's just be real.
Well, let's see. Jack Mitchell, if you're listening to this, put something in the group me so we know. I believe in you. The other guys don't believe in you.
I don't. I have zero faith.
Anyway,
and also I'm shooting down that whole whatever the Don just said there of the winner gets to make a rule change. No.
What do you mean? It's clearly a thing we are doing, right?
No,
wait. He's not a league owner. Why are you talking to him like that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
Well, I'm part of the DGFL. They hired me and sponsor me.
But you're not in the championship.
I know. Hey, I literally pay your salary, man. I don't know what you want.
Okay, first off, I don't have a salary.
Exactly.
Second off, the boys in the back are starving because of you.
Yeah, look, I don't say we're a profitable league. We're still in the early stages.
Trying to get Arby's on board.
Is not there. Look, I'm trying. And so. So for myself and for league rule, I think one thing, there has been some confusion over our tiered PPR system. It's not really consistent. It doesn't make a ton of sense. And so I would probably move to just go to half, just to have consistency and make it easier for guys setting lineups. To be honest, it hasn't really hurt me. My wide receivers have done very well this year. So I'm not hurting in regards to that. But I think it would probably make the most sense there.
Boys in the back have some stats on what type of receiver it really hurts, and it was completely opposite of the type of receiver we wanted it to hurt. So, I agree. It'll be easier for betting too. So, I want that push as well.
Yeah. So I think that's probably the most common sense and easy thing. In general, I'm a pretty conservative in terms of rule changes. I don't think we should make a ton of them, and I think we already made a pretty big one in getting rid of kickers and defenses. So I kind of want to stay the course. I want to, let the league play out, and if things get stale, that's when we make big rule changes. But right now, I think we've got a really good base. We've got some really dialed-in owners. It's been a lot of fun for a lot of guys, and I think we're doing well, which is great to see as a commissioner.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Speaking of looking at things from the commissioner's point of view, why are you the corrupt commissioner, huh?
People are demanding an answer.
Look, it's a good question, and
Is it a good question? Do you like being corrupt?
I think it's necessary. In all honesty, I know, like, I think it's necessary to have a commissioner and to have a position of power that you're not liked. If you're liked all the time, you're not making the decisions that are needed. No, seriously, because like there's certain decisions that I make that I think are for the good long-term health of the league that certain owners are not going to like because it goes against their own self-interest. And so my job is to make sure that those decisions are made. And even if it hurts me, like when we got rid of kickers and defenses, me and Matt Don thought it was the best move for the league. And we decided, you know what, we're going to give comp picks and we're not going to take them as a sign of like, hey, we think this is what's best. And it's not to benefit ourselves. Because like honestly, my kickers and defense were fine. I think I had Young Ho though, and he's been phenomenal this year. So I would add a kicker number one. And so it's one of those things where like, yeah, you have to make this tough decisions. You have to have times where people aren't going to like you. And I'm fine with that role. Like that's the role that I need to have. And I think it's the role that leads to the most long-term health of the league. And you know, it's nice because I can lean into it when it helps me. You know, when I get pick number one this upcoming draft lottery, it's perfect. Like I see no downside. It's like all of a sudden, oh, it's corrupt commish. Great. Okay, I end up with the number one pick. We're fine.
Ay.
Now, Hunter,
we appreciate you taking on that honorable role, buddy.
yeah. But, you know, like you said, if you're not liked, or if you are liked, maybe you're doing something wrong. Could you just comment for us on your take on your co-commissioner's performance this season?
Yeah.
What are your
love to
thoughts
know.
on how he's performed positively or negatively
Are you talking about like as an owner or as a commissioner?
as a commissioner?
Oh, I think he's done great. Like, and this isn't one where like it's it's a broadcast thing. And I'm just like trying to save face. I think the sports betting thing was awesome. We've talked about, like, I'll be honest, I don't know a ton about sports betting. I'm not great at lines. I'm not great at over unders. But I've got buddies who are really into it, and I kind of guess, to be honest. That's how I've done.
This is exactly why you're not on the next segment.
Yeah, no, 1000%. And so like those lines have been like really good, and I think a lot of people have gotten dialed in from the betting angle. I think what Matt Don does really well is like he knows how to engage the league and how to get guys like more excited. And he's also super passionate about what's going on. This season I've been a little bit more hands off just because I've had a really like tough semester. A lot of load of academic stuff and just like a lot of stuff going on in life. And it's been nice to kind of just be able to like know that Matt Don's got it. And so that when we get to the like place of this off season where I've got a little bit more time and I've got some time for the league meetings, and I can also do what I need to do in regards to like being the bad guy and saying no to things and making sure like we're, staying solid and staying strong, like moving forward. Crushing dreams. I mean, yeah. That's what wakes me up in the morning. Like, how do I ruin somebody's day? It's really what gets me up in the morning. But no, it's great to just have a commissioner, have somebody that I can just kind of be like have total trust in and be like, yeah, he's got this. And not have to like worry about, okay, what's going on? Like, do I need to step in? Do I need to drop this? And just like his understanding of like when I'm like, hey, I don't have time. Because we were talking about like draft lottery before. We've talked about different things during finals week, and Matt Don was just like, okay, yeah, let's just talk about it when you got time, and then we like work through it very, very well and very easily. So no, it's been a huge blessing. It's been a huge load off of me, which has been really nice.
Love hearing you. Love seeing you both as commissioners. Makes my job easier. I can just talk about bets all day long. I got nothing to worry about because you guys are gonna do it. Anyways, Hunter, it has been great having you on. Last question. You're going to get 3 options here.
Okay.
And all you get to do is say the option. No
One word.
No reasoning, nothing. All right? What are you looking forward to? What are you the most excited about for next year? The draft, the rejuvenated health of your players, or some more trades?
Health. Easy.
Health it is. Health it is.
Too many guys got hurt.
Hey, whoa.
That was like 5 words, okay?
Come on.
Take it easy.
I had to.
Take it easy.
Anyways, Hunter, loved having you on here.
Great to have you.
Thank you,
Not
guys.
often do we just get into a segment that lasts 50 minutes and we lose track of time.
I enjoyed it, though.
Great
I enjoyed it
answers,
as well.
knowledgeable answers, honorable man,
The
Thank you.
corrupt
beautiful
committee.
man, offering up his home. If that changes, you'll have to let the other commission. Anyways, Hunter, have a great rest of your Spicy Boy Thursday. Look forward to talking to you next.
Yeah, no, sounds great. Would love to come back on the show if you'll ever have me.
Probably
Hoping
not.
to do. I realize. Hoping to do a draft preview at some point. So would love to float that with you guys. I obviously can't really share my full big board because
We're working over the off-season schedule, so
Boys in the back.
in about 7 months when we have to worry about that, we'll let you know.
Please do. I'll be prepping until then. All right, boys. Have a great rest of your day.
See you, bro. Great man.
Wow.
We just had.
He really gives more insightful analysis than I've ever given on this show.
I know. It's really.
I was
really
listening to him
good.
just like, oh, yeah, that really makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So, like, in my mind, how I would rank content so far on this show, I feel like top 3 segments we've ever had is got to be
Gweaves.
Hunter, and then that third spot's really tough for me. I want to put Jack Mitchell's segment every Tuesday.
I think it'd be the Don Mitch segment for me. The
intro. Ratings on that show have been low. I don't know if I can put it up there yet.
Really?
It's only like 6 views so far. So.
Hey, league, because I know you're still listening.
Hey, we don't make them do nothing. We're just lucky that people are listening anyway.
We're just blessed to be here. Just knocking my headphones out of my ears.
Yeah, dude, come on, that's unprofessional.
All right,
get that guy back in there.
The reason the people came, what we're good at. Let's get in.
I'm good at.
Okay, well, sure. Well, we're over, so I won't respond to that. Let's get into the spreads and lines for this week's matchups. Spicy Boy Thursday.
Okay, we're blazing through this. Screaming Turtles versus Mafiosos Division 2-week championship. We're just looking at week 15. We will look at week 16 when week 16 is week 16. It is week 15. The line is 7.5 in favor of the Turtles. It is not moved, but the over-under has increased 10 to 270.
Ooh.
It is projected. Yeah, it's fairly high, but you'll understand when I go over some of the other stuff later. It is 138 to 132 in sleeper, but sleepers often were incorrect. I'll go over some players. DJ Moore is back. CMC is doubtful. So we're looking at Mafiosos are probably flexing DJ and benching Clyde against New Orleans. Turtles are going to be starting Mike Davis, and he said he might not be starting Zeke. So we'll see what that happens. I'm sure he'll start Zeke. You can't not start Zeke,
Yeah.
Anyways, in this matchup, the Mafiosos, their past 4 weeks, 132, 131, 121, 161 for 136 points per game the last 4 weeks. Turtles, 156, 117, 137, 146 for 139 points per game. This is going to be a good game, I think. This will be a good championship.
Yeah.
I think, honestly, like I said earlier, it really comes down to the wide receivers on the Mafioso side. I'm looking at guys like DJ Moore, Terry McLaurin. McLaurin's been awful the last 2 weeks in the playoffs. He's just been bailed out by Opportunity and Jonathan Taylor going crazy. And can Zeke get back to what he was? I think it'll be McLaurin versus Zeke. If obviously it's probably going to come down to the highest scorer, but that'll be a good matchup to look at. With all that being said, after all the research I did, I am severely not confident in either side. I'm not slamming this matchup, but I'm definitely not putting this in my parlay either. But The Mafiosos are 100% covering as the dog.
So you are slamming the Mafiosos?
I'm not slamming the Mafiosos.
Okay.
I'm just saying, is this the week the Mafiosos finally don't cover? 7.5 against Screaming Turtles. I mean, every time they've been the dog, they've covered, but there's only been 1 week they've lost as the dog too, by the way.
Yeah.
And that was because they didn't start DJ Moore. They're going to make the right decision this week, hopefully, and start DJ Moore. On to the next one. Fantasy Foot Jollers versus the Bare Necessities. Fantasy Foot Jollers 24.5 favorites on 155. That's a large spread. What do you think about this matchup?
Yeah, not an exciting matchup in the shit bowl, but Jollers averaging about 87, 88 points over the last 5 weeks, while the Bears have only scored above 60 points once in that span, with their highest score not even being 70. So the statistics there say the Jollers should cover if things go as they normally do. Jollers get Julio back, but Josh Jacobs is playing on a hurt ankle with a short turnaround. Plays tonight versus the Chargers on Thursday Night Football. For the Bears, starting Wayne Gallman and Mostert as running backs, they both have decent matchups with Dallas and Cleveland, but I think that's at most a 30-point ceiling. I think the difference for them is going to be Mitch. He's benefited from opportunity success, and that kind of opens up the offense. He had 25 points versus Houston last week. He plays Minnesota, who shut down Nick Foles, but that was Nick Foles. So really just comes down to kind of who you think is going to be better in the quarterback play. I think the Jollers might be starting Tua or Big Ben, not sure. Depends on the matchups. But just keep a close eye on that one. Definitely like the under in this matchup as well. Never root for the Bears to score a lot of points.
155 the under. I always get a chuckle at when scores are under 150 or 155. Terrible. Moving on. Rods Bods versus Mighty Peacocks. 24.5 Rods Bods favorite on 250. So pretty conservative, high scoring over under. Now the Bods 111, 133, 104, 119 over the last 4 weeks, only 116 points per game. That's fairly low for the second highest scoring team in the league. Peacocks 115, 101, 136, 95, only 111 points per game. Look at the matchups. They're all green, but they're kind of sneaky. I'll tell you what, it's a sneaky week for this because some of these matchups are green because of past performances, but they're not green because of how the teams are playing. Like Denver has been stout this year on pass defense. I don't know. I think AJ Bouye might still be suspended, so I'm not sure if Denver – like Josh Allen plays Denver, Aaron Jones plays Carolina, Allen Robinson, Minnesota, Mike Evans, Atlanta. So that's the Peacock side of the good matchups. Rods Bods has Baltimore for James Robinson, Kamara versus Kansas City, Hopkins versus Philly, Keenan Allen versus Raiders, Waller versus Chargers, James Conner versus the Bengals. Like, those are all green matchups, but I look at that as like, is Baltimore really an easy rushing defense for James Robinson? Like,
I don't know. Especially since they're going to be down.
Is Philadelphia that played very well against Michael Thomas, is that a favorable matchup for DeAndre Hopkins?
I don't know.
You know? Like, Cincinnati has a really good defense. Like, they've been great these last 4 weeks. Why is that green versus James Conner?
Yeah.
You know, Seattle has been phenomenal defense lately. How is
Despite
that green
the early
versus
struggles.
Antonio? How's that been good for Antonio Gibson? I will guarantee that this is the under. You can just look at the last scoring games. Like there's only, if you look at all the combined, if it was week 14, 13, 12, if it was week 11, they're under 250. Week 12, they're under 250. Week 13, they're under 250. Week 14, they're under 250. Like, they're
hit the under.
It's 250 is easy under for me. But there's a reason it's at 250. Lines makers know something we don't. Vegas knows something we don't. I'm projecting probably a 125 to 105 kind of game. That doesn't help you on the spread, but obviously if that's what happens, the Peacocks are covering. I don't know. We'll talk about it a brief what we're doing after we go over all the matchups.
Okay.
Last but not least, Weenie Wolves versus Caterpillar Gillas, 17.5 spread for the Wolves on 165.
Yeah, don't be fooled by that spread. This is not the Pilla's team of early in the season. The spread was originally about 4.5. That tells you how close it was. But then Ronald Jones got COVID, so Giller is going to have to start James White, who's been very poor. He's extremely boomer bust. I really think if James White can score a touchdown, that there's no way the Pillows don't cover. But if he comes out there and scores 2 points, it's going to be tough. In terms of points over the last couple of weeks, it's been pretty even. J.K. Dobbins, even though he hasn't gotten as many touches, saw his snap percentage jump 20% on Monday Night Football. Cam Akers, Bill Cow back, got 29 carries last week. Look for the Rams to continue that. T.Y., he might be the difference. Top 6 wide receiver each of the last 2 weeks. And then Laviska Shenault had 11 targets last week. Both teams have been pretty consistently hovering around 80, but I think I like the Pillas to cover in this game.
Yeah. So good analysis. Thank you for that. So looking back on these, it's only a 4-matchup week because 2 teams have already cemented their end of season. Sad for them, but it's good. They're looking to next year. I want to talk about this Pillas versus Weenie game. I am really excited for the Pillas, actually. This is what we're doing. We're slamming the Pillas this week to cover. I took the initiative. Ryan kind of took the role last week on his slam. This week I'm going with the Pillas. I am so confident T.Y. Hilton is a top 6 wide receiver scorer this week that there's no way the Pillas don't cover. He is going to easily score more than 20 again. He always has career games versus Houston. And look who they're playing. Houston. I'm putting him in every single one of my money lineups. T.Y. Hilton might be a league winner, honestly, this playoffs.
Wow.
Obviously, I'm a little nervous about Cam Akers in that situation of slamming the Pillows. I think Cam Akers is going to do really well.
I think they play the Jets too.
Yeah, they do play the Jets. I personally, I think this will be 89, 84 kind of thing.
I do think they hit the over.
Yeah, I'm feeling the over. I think 17.5 is way too large. I think T.Y. Hilton is going to do great. J.K. Dobbins needs a touchdown. James White needs a touchdown. That's kind of where I'm coming from in that matchup. Anyways, briefly going over who I have. I'm looking at the Mafiosos DeVeggie to cover. I just like when they're the road man, the underdog, they pull out the guns. I like them. I'm actually doing the over on 270. I think this will be a high-flying matchup. I'm taking the Mafiosos on the over. Next, I'm probably going to say the Bears. The Bears cover that 24.5 on the Jollers. Just concerned about Julio's injury, if he's coming back. I'm concerned about his quarterback situation for the Jollers. I think the Bears might be able to hit 60 and maybe the Jollers are less than 80. I don't know. That's a tall task. That one I'm very weak on.
Yeah,
so take that one with a grain of salt. I'm not sure. That one might change as the week go on. So that's a TBD for me, but I think it'll be the under. I joked about it. I think it'll be the under. Next, 24.5. For the Rods Bods, I'll probably take the Rods Bods to cover on that. I think his last few weeks have been sucky. I wouldn't be surprised if his dudes went for like 135, and then the Peacocks have really just been hovering around 110 recently, like his points per game say. So 130, 135. If the Peacocks go for 115, that's 250. It's the over. So Rods Bods on the over for that one. Obviously, I said I'm slamming the Pillas on the over. So for me, am I doing a parlay, a teaser? No, not confident this week. Not
Me
confident
neither.
this week. You want to go over what you got, Ryan, or you good with what you said so far?
I'm good with what I said. I think
Yeah.
for the most part we have a lot of similarities. I'm with you in that I differ on some points. People can see that in my bet sheet, but nothing I'm super confident on in terms of a parlay.
Yeah.
Gonna hit a
Especially
super
with the
slam, I think, but don't feel great about it.
Yeah, no, I'm slamming. Like, if you're not slamming every week, you're a chump.
Might as well. I mean,
You're a chump.
3
Well, you
points.
can get it. You can get a minus.
I know, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what
I
happens.
just think, the parlay, the teaser, you have to do one or the other. If you're not doing one or the other, you're a chump. Needless to say, we're trying to take all the money. So you take what we're saying and you run with it. So, okay, here's what my question is, Ryan. If I'm slamming the mafiosos and I'm slamming the mafiosos in my sheet, okay? And this dirty slam is the pillows. Doesn't that guarantee that I should just tease them already?
Yes, you should two bet the
Okay,
mafiosos
yeah.
and the pillows.
Okay, I'm two betting
That would
mafiosos
be
and pillows.
the parlay that I would. Any parlay I had would have the pillows in it.
Yeah.
For what you said about TY,
Yeah.
the Jawlers, I think we might be the dirty sneak of the week, but
Yeah,
I don't know. I just think less than I feel good about the Jawlers because if we just play mediocre,
you'll score
like,
80. You'll score 80.
well, 80, 85. It's more that I just don't think De Beers will score much at all. Like I'm rooting for De Beers to be terrible, which is not
That's why
an unreasonable.
It's so hard for me
expectation.
because the Bears, like, all they need. I said Tyler Lockett earlier in the show. I'd take him over Julio. That's the
Yeah.
whole point of my this or that. It was all matchup based for who I think is going to be key in these matchups.
Yeah.
If I think Tyler Lockett's good, I feel like I have to choose the Bears.
You do.
So that's what I'm doing so far. We're closing out. Guys, this is sad. Sad for me to say. But next week will be the last two Dirty Slam pods of the season. Then we'll be taking a holiday break, getting our wits about us, getting ready for the closer to the draft kind of thing. And next week, hopefully this championship matchup is great because then we have something to talk about next week.
Right.
If it's a blowout, that'll be sucky. We appreciate everybody listening. You don't have to listen, but you do. We appreciate you. We appreciate Arby's for giving us tasty treats, tasty sandwiches every day.
Mozzarella sticks.
Mozzarella sticks. Their fries, curly fries, are great. Great. Best fries from any fast food I've ever had, not going to lie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We appreciate your mothers.
Properties.
Oh, yeah. Blade Road Properties. We appreciate you. Good job, Swines, taking home the first trophy. We appreciate your mothers for birthing you, getting you into this fine world. This weekend is going to be sick. Games on Thursday don't determine the championship. Games on Saturday do. DJ Moore's in it. Then Sunday comes around. Everybody's done on Sunday for this championship, except for Deontay Johnson. He plays Monday. Will he catch some passes? Who knows? Anyways, that was too long of an outro. We're at about an hour and 25 in this segment. It is Thursday, episode 10 of the Dirty Slam, December 17th. Have a great weekend. Get out, get some sun. If it's cold, put on a jacket. All right? Spicy Boy Thursday. Nobody's atting us on Twitter telling us how you're doing on Spicy Boy Thursday. We're really sad. We want to know what our listeners are doing.
Yeah.
Add us on Twitter. Tell us what you're doing. Maybe snap a picture. Send us a picture of what happened in the past. You go to like one of those 7-Eleven days where there's a huge, where they let you bring any container. Send us a picture of when you did that, You got a picture of a costume you wore on Halloween. You were Harry Potter.
I want to see it.
We want to see it. All right.
Let us in.
Anyways, I'm significantly bad at transitions. I'm significantly bad at ending the show. That's all I have to say. Thanks for listening. Have a blessed weekend.
See you next week.